Hello everyone, thanks for coming back to watch me, only run very noob, play more Bravo. Of course we use the Talishar client. Today we got kind of a fun one against Levia. Against Levia I cite out Sigil, Zealous Belting, and Spinal Crush. Spinal might be okay, like on their Blood Rush Bellow turns, but if they're rolling scabs it doesn't really do anything, and I think Choke Slam is a little better. Just to stop like Endless Maw, and it's like not terrible in the Blood Rush Bellow too. Um, with this hand I slightly thought about heaving, but I'm just gonna make a surge and then arsenal the defense reaction. Turn off these sound effects. Heaving I think would be okay. The thing is, just throwing the Command and Conquer is probably better than throwing the 8 at this point in the game. We see they don't really have too much going on here. They don't have any cards in graveyard, so they can't play any of their attacks that require them banish 3 cards from graveyard. We are just going to block 3. Command and Conquering with a card behind and one in Arsenal might even like scare them into using their Scowling Flesh Bag to like avoid a pummel. A little interesting thing of note here. Not that we're willing to sacrifice anything to do that. They end up just blocking 6, which is probably quite fair from them. Again, they just claw. I think I could have dominated a Starstruck here. I think blocking and just throwing the Starstruck is fine too. Like if they want to stop the Starstruck, they'd have to give us armor. If we dominate it, we take 3 damage. It's probably worth dominating there, to be honest. We don't have to give up too much, just 3 life, no on hits. Interesting thing to note, they're not on scabs, they're on the hooves. I think the hooves are really good. I do think scabs has like a way higher ceiling, of course. I'm less afraid of hooves than I am of scabs. Because a lot of times, once you start blocking them out, if they go Blasphemate, them rolling scabs and hitting is like one of the ways they can just like easily beat you there. They had a Guardian of the Shadow Beast, so if we would have dominated, we would have only got 4 damage through, and they could have like even thrown the hooves in front to stop the crush effect. So pretty nice that we didn't dominate it. This hand's not great. I just end up making a surge and sending 8. I already have a react in Arsenal. I'm not like too excited about sandbagging the react behind, but maybe that's like a slight error. I think the surge is okay into the mid-range matchups, but it's not like insane like it is against aggro decks. He finally has a turn. Dread Screamer is going to let him attack twice. And I do believe I just block 4 twice with the reacted hand and reacted arsenal, looking to throw the Crippling Crush thanks off these 2 blues thanks to the surge. Just seems like a reasonable value play. We're probably going to end up taking like 4 damage here if he attacks for 6 and then 6. We see a pummel on top, and I think I do want to keep it on top because the Crippling Crush is probably going to force quite a few blocks unless he just gives us all his armor. But oftentimes you see people save armor for like a dominated attack. You know, maybe just taking 6 here instead of using the sink below is good too. Because it is just damage, and having the sink in Arsenal's like not bad. Like if he plays swing big, we could like sink below, use armor, and get a quicken. But that's literally the only like on hit that they have that we would really want to cover up to get additional value. The 6 damage is just 6 damage. And we'll be able to get that 4 value later. Ooh, I do just go to Arsenal to sink below. I didn't think I would do that, but I think it's probably fine. Like it's almost no difference. Like they're gonna attack for more than 4, where we'll use the sink. We might even get to use the sink below effect to fix a better hand, like to fix a worse hand. So I like this take 6 here by me. I think that's pretty good. Just a naked crippling though. Does end up getting armor in a card. So it essentially had dominate for us. He only blocks with 1 from hand. Get the husk out of the way, which is always something that you gotta do. I used to toy with a strategy of just like blocking a bunch and hammering a bunch and eventually making them use the husk on the hammer. But I found that that just gives them like so much room. They get to play all 3 Art of Wars if you do that. They get to play all 3 Blood Rush Bellow, yeah, if you do that. They get to set up huge hands. Maybe if you don't see scabs, that's like a fine play though, because they can't just like roll scabs a bunch and punish you for blocking out. Endless Maw for 9. There's a couple things we could do here. We could block out 9 completely with the 2 block, a 3 block, a defense reaction from Arsenal, looking to hammer for 4 and arsenaling the pummel for like a better attack later. We could just block 3, take 6, and then pummel the hammer, saving the react. We could sink below the pummel, looking for a blue or any attack to be able to rouse the Ancient Sim. So yeah, there's definitely like a few lines here that all sort of seem reasonable. I wonder what I do. I wonder what I would do now. I think I would probably... So he has 2 cards behind. That he didn't elect to block with. He used the husk instead. I don't know enough about Levia to know really what they're representing here. It could be like a cheeky pummel in Arsenal, but I don't think I've ever seen Levia play that card. I think I kind of want to keep my life total high and just block 9, hammer 4, and Arsenal the pummel. It's a very conservative line though. Very, very conservative. I don't think there's a world where we take 9 and like pummel the chokeslam. That would be like 13 value instead of the 10 off the pummel hammer, because if the pummel hits, he discards a card, of course. So it looks like I just end up blocking 7. Looking to hammer for 6 and maybe pummel it. Although I could see just arsenaling the pummel here. Yeah, I guess not blocking for an extra 2 gives us a little additional value because we get the surge. So we take 2 to deal 2 more, but we get the surge on top. And we even get to pummel him if we want. I don't think I would pummel here though. Let's see if I just pummel. But I think pummeling an attack is way better. Especially against Levia, sometimes you can just like get them to take blood debt. Dread Screamer for 4 go again. I feel like I want to make a surge, play chokeslam, pummel the chokeslam, and arsenal the crippling crush, and just kind of take damage here. He plays a doomsday though, and we definitely can't take that line with the 6 power ally on board. So we just block 6 and then look to hammer the ally for 6. Maybe I over-respect the ally, but I never leave it there. I don't think you can just leave that on the board. It gives him way too much flexibility to just like block 9 and still attack you for 6 and turn off Blood Debt. He only has 3 cards in graveyard, so he can only use one of those attacks once. I wonder if I get greedy here and just take a bunch of damage, because I can rouse the Ancients, and because of the surge we can rouse and then chokeslam for 8 for 15 value, keeping a pummel. We could even just take the full damage and like pummel the chokeslam and arsenal the rouse, although I don't think I would do that. I think because of the surge I would want to get the value off of the chokeslam here. But you could also be kind of conservative and block 3 and then pummel the chokeslam. I'd probably just take the rouse line here though. I feel like 14 might be a little bit too low to go to with Dominate and Reckless Swing, so I just do use my equipment here. Again, the only on hit I think you're really trying to stop is Swing Big, and that's not even really an on hit, it's just like an additional effect if you fully block it out. And I don't want to die with armor left, although I'm probably not going to die from 14 with armor left. I'll probably have 2 turns no matter what. I think the Rouse the Ancients line gets to even the life totals here though. We get to attack for 15, which if he no blocks would take him to 14. We do see an armor block off the hooves, indicating that he might want to use that next turn. Because he's not stopping any sort of effects with it, he's just sort of using it to gain 1 life. We do get 2 cards. So we're only down 3, but we have 1 more armor. Our hand's really not that good. Maybe I could take 6 and then Terra Sunder, but he has enough armor to cover up the Terra Sunder. So I'm probably just want to block 9 and then send Hammer for 4. Don't want to Terra Sunder him and just have him like use his armor and still have a huge turn, and then us be, you know, at like 12 life. Plays a Howl from Beyond, and he plays his 3rd red Endless Maw, which is pretty good for him. That's just like a ton of value. But again, just block 9 and hammer 4. Wait for a better spot. No need taking a whole bunch of damage against a deck that can dominate off of Convulsions and then also has like a Reckless Swing endgame. If I had better hands, maybe I would have taken an aggressive line, but like the Terra Sunder, it would have been up to him if he stops it. He blocks our hammer for 4 for 6, which I think is quite good for us. That must mean he can't use his whole hand. But we still get hit for a lot. With Howl from Beyond, this is coming in for 9. He doesn't have an arsenal, so the Command and Conquer is not that good. He still has Scowling Flesh Bag, so keeping a bunch of cards to rouse is dangerous, because he could block the rouse with Scowling Flesh Bag, and then if he intimidates our other blue, it's just really bad for us. It's like super poor. We have the pummel in arsenal still. We could do kind of a cute line where we block 3, take 6, and then pummel the Command and Conquer. And the way we could get around Scowling Flesh Bag is we just activate Bravo and then Command and Conquer, and we have 2 floating. And we would have pitched both of our blues. But again, with him having no arsenal, I'm not sure that's like great. I think this is another block 9 and send 4 with hammer turn. We can't be too conservative though, because that Howl from Beyond is going to keep cycling and keep getting him a bunch of value. I think I'm looking in my graveyard to see if I have like pummelable targets left in my deck. This pummel's just been kind of sitting there. Still taking it a little slow, hoping they potentially get a hand that they can't turn off Blood Debt. Although they could always just turn into Blasphemate. But I think if they turn into Blasphemate when we're at 15 and have 5 armor, that we could fatigue them out, since they really only have 3 turns with the amount of Blood Debt they have. Finally draws a Blood Rush Bellow. I think this is the first one of the game for them. So we're definitely expecting them to chain these together. It's turn 12. They're going to see their whole deck by turn 15. This hand's a little ugly. On a Blood Rush Bellow turn, we're expecting like 18, like 5, 5, and then 8. Of course, if it's a swing big, it could be 5, 5, and a 10. We don't have a Surge, so playing these 7 drops in Starstruck and Crippling Crush would be tough, even if we wanted to crown into a different card. So, we could block with like Starstruck and Crippling, get a Surge, and then throw a Chokeslam back. But I don't really like that line either. I think at this point we just have to block. Kind of sucks because they still have their hooves up. Oh, it looks like I get a little impatient and use my crown to crown away the pummel. Maybe looking to draw a blue and then block with Starstruck and Chokeslam so that I can Crippling Crush off 2 blues. But we don't get that option here. And he doesn't have the resources to claw into another attack, so that's kind of a big break. We just like save 5. This is annoying though, but I think we just have to block 6. I wish that Sink Blow would have been anything we could have blocked, anything else we could have blocked with. But yeah, we just block 6, get the Surge, throw the Chokeslam, and arsenal the Sink Blow. I don't think that's how I should have played the turn though. I think using the crown there was maybe showing a little bit of a sign of like desperation, but I don't think the game state was that dire that I had to do that there. I think I could have just like gotten away with blocking 9. I would have only taken 4, and I would have been able to hammer for 4 and still have a pummel in arsenal. Still having a pummel in arsenal for this Command and Conquer I draw would have been a lot better than what happened. And the thing I did didn't even really accomplish much. Even if I would have drawn the blue, I don't think it would have been like the greatest thing in the world. He has no arsenal, so blocking 3. I think maybe blocking 6 here might have been correct. It's less value, but we're getting to the life point where Dominate into Reckless Swing is going to just kill us. He has a lot of armor left. I guess he only has 4, but that's still like a good enough amount. So yeah, I think I would have liked to just block 6 there. See an Art of War. kitties are crying at me. Yeah, we see an Artivore. I believe that's the first one we've seen all game. So there's still 2 Artivores left, presumably, and 2 Blood Rush Bellows. And with us at 10, this is not looking great. We do have a lot of block value with the Sink Below in Arsenal. Maybe it's a Fate Foreseen. I think it's a Sink Below, though. And he sends a big dominated attack. I think I'm just supposed to full block this by playing the Unmovable. But instead I give armor. Yeah, I think I should play Unmovable. I think I should play Unmovable from hand, play Sink Below from Arsenal. And then hammer for 6? Maybe having the Unmovable in Arsenal is a little better, though. Yeah, I actually don't hate my line. Block 5, Sink Below, look to hammer for 6, and then Arsenal the Unmovable to try to protect us from future dominates. But at 7, we can't be taking too much more damage or we're going to die to Reckless Swing. I don't think I Sink Below, but maybe I should, because I'm not sure there's that many cards that are bad. Like, if I draw a red Pummel, that would be like the worst case scenario. Because at this life total, I definitely want to have Unmovable in Arsenal. He uses his Scowling Fleshbag now to just like keep his whole hand, which is quite scary. It's not any additional value, but yeah, he's signaling a big turn. Luckily for us, he pitches a red, and then he plays another Blood Rush Bellow from Arsenal. So this could be a very, very big turn, where we definitely like get into the range of him killing us with Reckless Swing. But he has to pitch another red to play the Blood Rush Bellow. Maybe he just had to pitch the card that he couldn't risk discarding and not getting the value. But here we're only expecting another attack. I don't think he's going to have the resources to claw and attack. Based on how he played this turn up to this point. We are just looking to block. So yeah, he plays this. It's for 10. Yeah, we just block 9 using the Unmovable from Arsenal and the Terra Sunder from hand. Not great, quite a bit of damage. And unfortunately, he does get to... Oh, he breaks his boots, so he gets another action point, which allows him to redeemed, which is not good for us. To be honest, I wasn't thinking about redeemed, and that's something you should definitely be thinking about when they're under 8. Like, just block. Don't do damage to them that they're just going to re-heal. He Dread Screamers here, and he misses. So it doesn't even have go again. So I think I want to just block 4, take 1, go to 5. That means I'm not dead to Reckless Swing, and then I get to pummel the hammer. Maybe this is too aggressive of a line. Maybe I need to just block with 2 cards, hammer for 4, and Arsenal the pummel. I would still have 1 armor block. I would have 1 more life. He only blocks 3, which lets him not die. He can even use the Grasp if he wants, but he doesn't. He elects to go to 1. And we do see a Convulsions here. We have to go to 2. We can only block 4. And that 1 life we gave up and the armor we gave up was quite huge, because we just died a reckless swing now. Luckily for us, we have a surge, and we can dominate disable and hope that he has cards that don't trigger the reckless swing. So he would have to like block with reckless swing here, and hopefully the blues he pitched don't have 6 power, and he misses. So he reckless swings here and misses. But unfortunately, he has the other reckless swing. And I think this is a play that is only allowed due to the new rule change. Or I might be wrong. Even though it has dominate, you can still play multiple defense reactions in a turn. They don't become defending cards until they resolve. So you can play as many defense reactions as you want. It'll come up with stuff like Steel Blade Shunt and Reckless Swing to where you're not looking to actually get the block value, because of course when they resolve, only one will resolve and then the other ones will like fizzle and they won't block damage. But they do get their on play effect. I'm not sure if that's supposed that happens on resolution, so he just needs to keep track of what reckless swing discarded the 6 and then let that one resolve, and he gets to take the game from us. I think this game was sort of interesting, not just because of that flashy finish, but because of a lot of the conservative decisions I made might have been my downfall. I could have just pummeled early on my hammer instead of keeping it at arsenal. Ended up never using that pummel, ended up just crowning it away, and when I chose to use my crown, I don't even think it was like a good line. I think I might have just been getting frustrated and trying to do something, which definitely happens in a game that's not going your way, or when, you know, I drew 3 threats in 1 blue, and I was just like, oh god, like, if I would have just drawn 2 blues, I could have done something cool. But you just kind of have to keep your head. You can't be getting frustrated. When you start to let emotions dictate your play, you're basically throwing the result of the game to the wind, and that's definitely not where you want to be. You want to be level-headed, you want to make good plays, you want to make solid decisions. So hopefully this one was fun. It's the first loss I've posted, which is kind of cool. I haven't been cherry picking and like not picking losses. I just don't record all my games, and I don't lose a lot of games. Not meaning to brag, but just on Talishar, like, I think if you're a reasonable player on Talishar, a win rate above 70 is just kind of par for the course. You know, I lose a lot of games like at the armory level, but I think Talishar is even sort of below like an armory level. A lot of times on Talishar, people are trying new decks. They're trying decks with cards they haven't bought yet, trying to see if they like the hero before they like purchase a deck. And it's definitely what the client should be used for. I just like playing my one hero, and I like practicing, so it's kind of the only way to do it. There's no like ranked ladder. There's nowhere for me to just only play against top competition. I guess I could ask people, but sometimes I just kind of want to sit down, click talishar.net and just jump into a game real quick. So yeah, hopefully we all had fun. Hopefully we learned a little bit. Comment, like, subscribe down below, and tell me how you like my Bravo hair. You know, I decided to let it down today, even though it's kind of hot. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.